Welcome, tourist, to another episode of Tabletop Tour Guides, where you're gobbling up every adventure. I'm one of your hosts, Drew, and this is one of your other hosts, John.
Hey,
I almost said I'm your host, John.
Oh, there you go. Still recovering from the weekend,
yeah.
I can see.
Oh my gosh, yes. Our other host, Mike, is not able to be with us tonight. His wife, I think, was out of town for a while there, so they're back. And then the Oklahoma City Thunder.
We won finals, that's right.
They just basketballed.
Real hard.
Yep,
that's right.
The best way you can basketball. So, and so I think they had a big party last night, so they're trying to clean up after that.
It's going so crazy. There's a parade tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow?
Yeah.
Nice. Where?
Downtown, I think, and it's at 10:30. And, people are just going to take off
morning?
work. Yeah.
Oh.
People are just supposed to take off work. They were like, it was on the radio this morning. The mayor says if, work will allow you to, go to the parade. Everybody go to the parade.
Well, yeah.
My work said, F you.
Yeah. My work, which is Mike, I guess technically I did get a day off this week. I didn't know I was supposed to.
You're supposed to go to the parade,
supposed to go to the parade, so
your mayor wanted you to go to that.
Apparently, granted, I don't like our mayor, but anyways.
Well, let's talk a little bit about on the table things. So
let's talk about how the camera's over there right now, and so we keep looking at the videos over there right now. So we keep looking at it because I'm gonna do that the whole episode.
I will look at you. I will. Anybody who's not listening and watching,
I'm also not centered up. Here we go. I fixed it.
You fixed it.
Oh God damn
it! Just for people to know, he loves to sit there and click on the button to start up. What is this?
Bamboo Labs.
Bamboo Labs.
3D printing render. Okay. All right. So yes, what's on the table, John? What have you been doing lately?
Well, I paint up everything for Feel No Pain.
Yep. I should have worn my shirt.
Yeah. And went to that tournament this weekend.
Yep. Feel No Pain GT in Edmond, Oklahoma happened this weekend. My first ever GT I've ever ran for 40K.
Mm-hmm.
We had 38 people.
Yep.
John, you want to kind of go over what you played and how well you did?
Man, that first day starts to get a little fuzzy after all the $2 beers.
The real winner was the keg.
Yeah, I wonder how much did you... People were donating to you just beers, being like, hey, T.O., I need a ruling. Here's a beer.
$2 stout, yeah. Well, because we had a 13% stout, and I probably had, 5 or 6 beers a day just during the tournament. So,
yeah, I'll do it.
It was a good time.
I went 2-3.
Okay.
I definitely had some rework in my list that I want to take for next time.
Second GT ever, though.
Yeah, second GT ever. I definitely need to work on. Sadly, I was planning on a little bit different list to come up against, but I came up against 4 very aggressive melee lists that I just could not counter very well.
Yeah, it was 2 World Leaders, an Orc, and a Space Wolves. What was your other match?
Space Marines.
What
was Tanner running? It was...
Who's Tanner?
The guy that had the airship. Or the gunship. He's joining our team. Not Tanner.
Tucker.
Thank you.
Okay, I was like, wow.
Yeah,
Tucker. I don't even know what the hell Tucker was playing. Imperial Fist or something? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
He was the other one. So me and him shot each other, and that was fine. I was like, yeah, great. But, I didn't go against any of the Tau people or anything like that.
Yeah.
So definitely...
You weren't prepared for the Alpha Strike?
I was not prepared for wolves on wolves, man.
Well, and you played against...
Bam
Bam Hunter, who is a very good player in the Lord Marshal Conference. I think usually is #1 Space Wolves every year, or probably is the most reputable Space Wolves. And I've played against him and his list as well, and it has wrecked the crap out of me. So
right,
no shame there. But
so that one wasn't too bad. The Orcs just got a little overzealous, and it bit me in the butt.
Yeah, and Orcs is an army that we don't play against a lot.
Right, that's true.
We see 1 at a GT usually, and then that's the only place we ever see them.
So yeah, I was trying to be very. I told him, so it's not like a gotcha moment, but I was like, "Hey, I have squad tactics. Lets me roll D6 to move away from you," and he wogged. And I was like, "Okay, this is a 9-inch charge." He made that. I was like, "Crap." The ballistas one though was a 10-inch charge, and because I only got to move 1 extra inch back when I rolled for that squad tactic. So he got that, and I was like, crap.
That's
So
it.
that was it. Yeah, one of those going in, I was like, fine, I can recover. 2 of those going in, I couldn't recover as much because then he could consolidate with the stratagem over to another squad.
So you just got to get really deep into your line.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
But other than that, it was a fun event. I mean, all my opponents were great, and $2 beers were just amazing.
Yeah, we got 3 kegs. 2 of them were donated by our local brewing group, Frenzy, and then we bought the third to fill the kegerator up. But the the event was really successful. I feel like 38 people. Nobody dropped the first day or anything like that. Everybody showed up for day 2 and whatnot, and then we had a ton of stuff donated prize support wise. I don't know the final numbers yet, but what was the math we did earlier? It was like 1,500.
Yeah, 1,500.
Just off of raffle tickets, donations before the event, and beer.
And beer.
Yeah. So, and that was just cash.
Right.
Not even like stuff that went through the POS system that we're still filtering out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, super big fundraising. Everybody seemed to have a really good time. I didn't really hear any complaints. There wasn't really any drama. And I think everybody had a really, really good time. The trophies that we got made by Warsenal, which is a great token designer out in Florida for Infinity the Game, came out amazingly. Those trophies are cool as shit. They were like little
Nurgles
emblems with the Nurgling, the cowboy Nurgling on them. Yeah. Really big fan of those. Really looking forward to doing it again. What was your favorite moment of the weekend?
My favorite moment? Man, I don't even know if it was a match, but I finally got to see our teammates Paul's Tyranids. These things I've been just loving ever since I saw them, and I'm like, man, this just makes me want to paint Tyranids and or something.
Because you've got a Tyranid army, right?
Yeah, I have a Tyranid army that still needs to be painted and everything, and I was just looking at those, and I was like, that's very beautiful. So I was just impressed with everybody's painting. You know, there were some really good ones. Jesse's were amazing.
Yep, Jesse got best painted with his Death Core.
Yeah.
So shout out to Jesse. So and Paul got runner up. Like all the paint judges got Jesse and then Paul. Like all unanimously. Like every one of them voted for Jesse as first and then Paul for second, which is really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. So
very cool. Both of them look great. You should talk to Paul about what his recipe is.
I did. I got his recipe.
Good. And you should match it so you guys can have when we do the Apocalypse game.
I'm going to try.
You both play Tyranids.
I got to get a Villainy ink set.
He uses a lot of inks. Yeah, but like you got like a year.
Yeah, I got time.
You ain't got nothing else you're working on. You got all your Space Marines.
Yeah, you know, not anything else. Thousand Suns,
They're
Space
done.
Wolves.
Aren't they done?
No.
Space Wolves don't even count. That's Space Marines. You're already done. Yeah, just sell me your box. I'll give you $50.
Oh yeah, 50?
Yeah, I think that's probably it's used. I don't need the codex, so
that's true.
I got my spare, as we say in the unboxing. Yeah. So,
well, what about you? What's been on the table?
Man, not sleep, not anything like relaxing. I'm right back to work the very next day. This is Monday, the Monday after the tournament that we're recording this. So the night before the episode release, because we missed the 2 chances we had last week to record, and we needed to get the episode out. But man, I am dog tired. I feel like I'm still grimy and sweaty and dirty from the weekend. I've showered like 4 times.
But you don't have to worry about price support anymore. You're 3D. You don't have to 3D print terrain anymore.
Yeah. Well, I guess what's on the table for me is we're kind of back in the swing of things at work now to try and just see what we can do to improve the shop. Like we can feel no pain. And I think Mike wouldn't mind me saying this, but like it took a lot of our attention for like project work and stuff. Right. And so there's a lot of stuff that we want to do at Unplugged that we really haven't had the brain power to focus on because it's every week it was something new with Feel No Pain.
Right.
And so any extra time we had either went to like life stuff or Feel No Pain, and then just whatever the normal run, day to day at the shop. Yeah. So right now it's kind of like it's like getting back into the swing of things, and then it's prepping for the next big thing, which is going to be for me I'm trying to get my War Machine and my Trench Crusade done this month so I can finally quit riding the fence on a faction to do for the grand narrative.
Okay.
A faction that I want to do next. And so that's what's on the table for me is like War Machine and Trench Crusade. And then I want to get that out of the way so I can start focusing on my next 40K army project.
Yeah.
So that's
I'm glad to have Ultramarines done because I'm going to take a break and do my War Machine.
Yeah, and your Infinity. And your Warcrow.
No, I'm just gonna have you do my Infinity.
Oh, and your Warcrow? Or your
No,
Warcrow are done, I guess.
My Warcrow's done.
Well, you need to start playing some Warcrow.
Yeah, I need to buy more units probably.
There's some cool.
Do they have an official organized play yet?
Yep.
They do?
Well, so it's we have new missions.
Okay.
We actually have missions. There's a mission pack. The organized play is finalized in July, whenever the Worlds event at Corvus Belli headquarters happens.
Spoilers, guys. This might be what comes up in the future for me for this game.
For what?
For this game. When we're talking about today's topic.
Oh, sure. It's not on there. So.
Oh, you're right. Dang it. I missed that.
Dodge.
Never mind.
So, before we get into that, one last thing I want to talk about that's on the table for me is the next GT.
Which next GT are you going to go to? There's
the next GT I'm going to host.
Oh, you're going to host.
So I already have been asked multiple times to do 2 Feel No Pains a year.
Really?
And I am on the fence about doing a second GT at all. I don't know if I want to because I'm exhausted. But I also, if I was going to do another GT, I almost would rather do it for Infinity. War Machine.
A different game.
Yeah. Like, there's already, like, Steve with the Oklahoma Wargaming Network already does, and same for Flying Monkeys out in Kansas, Wichita, Kansas. They already do, and then the Rumble on Route 66 guys in Tulsa. Like, OWN does like 3 to 5 GTs a year. Wichita does 3 to 5 GTs a year. Tulsa is trying to get to at least 2 to 3 GTs a year. And then we have R1 in the summer where no one else is really doing any. I don't necessarily know that we need another 40K GT, even though everybody really loved mine. I had a lot of people tell me this is their favorite GT they've ever had. They were really glad they came out. Everybody was loving it. And even though that was the case, I don't know that we need another Feel No Pain, because if there was another Feel No Pain, I don't want it to take away from this one means so much for like the charity that it's a part of, and I don't want to lose focus of the one that's going really, really well and water it down by having 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then 40K doesn't need another GT, but like there's not a Infinity GT that we can go to every year that's close. There's not a War Machine one. There's not a Warcrow one. You know what I mean? Like there's right. Not like there's all these other games, and I'm like, well, man, if I was going to spend those kind of time and resource, I'd rather give another game a chance to have an event.
Gotcha.
I don't need a 40K event. I already have a ton of 40K events. I want to do my one 40K event every year. That's awesome. Feel no pain, but I don't need another one. So,
okay.
And by only having one, like everybody kind of loves me. Like I'm like a lot of people really enjoy me in the community. So it's a lot easier for me to go to the Flying Monkeys and to the OWN guys and the Route 66 guys and be like, hey, I really want to have this one tournament this weekend. Can you guys avoid doing anything like that month or whatever? And most everybody's like, yeah, cool, that's fine. Like, well, by me trying to do another tournament, and then like if I started having 2 to 3 tournaments a year, then it's like, well, where are we going to fit them?
Right.
You know. But if I did an Infinity GT, because we've done 2 Infinity GTs at Unplugged before COVID, I could probably get 40 people to play Infinity at Unplugged at a GT, and because that's how many we got last time, and it'd be a huge success. So I don't know. And I've already been asked before even Feel No Pain. I had several people ask me if we were going to bring Oklahoma Onslaught back, which was the Infinity GTs I ran. Ever since we started doing Infinity again, I've had guys from Texas and Colorado asking me, are you going to do a GT again? So that's something I'm thinking about. We'll see what happens. I don't know if I will do 2 GTs in a year. I don't know if that's something that I really want to do.
That's fair.
But I'm definitely thinking about it because this was a ton of fun, and it was now that it's over, I really enjoyed it.
But it was a ton of work, man.
a lot of work.
A lot of stress can build
What I
up to
really
it.
need is a girlfriend, so I don't have to do anything with you guys ever again, and I can just fucking quit playing
Tell
war
me
games.
all your stuff.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
$50.
So any of those listeners out there, I know we have like a 10% female. Just time out. Just kidding. No, but it is a lot of work and it's stressful, and that's the thing is like, I mean, I joke, but like right now, while I do have independence and no dependence, it's kind of like, oh man, I can do this, but like I don't want to set up a legacy that I can't live up to
Right.
down the road. So, anyways, that all being said, it's been a lot of fun. I'm really happy with how the tournament went, and I'm ready for the next thing. But uh, the next GT we're going to, and I'm proud of the team too. The team didn't perform very well, but I was just happy that we had all the people we did.
Well,
We had almost,
let's be fair here. Paul would have done a lot better, but he had a family emergency and then came back.
Paul would have at least gone 3-2, if not 4-1.
Right.
I had no doubt about that. But he
Yeah.
lost 2 games to just an emergency. And then but that's the thing though, is like nobody really seemed like downtrodden or anything like that. Everybody was like, "Oh man, I learned a lot, and this is, I want to try these new things now that I've learned, and I've seen what the meta can be like, and now we want to start doing training days." And the team is just very eager to grow and perform, and that's what excites me. That's what I'm happy with. Is not nobody's like, "Well, I don't even know that I want to be on a team anymore. I don't want to do tournaments." I got my ass beat. Jesse went 0-5, and he's over the moon. He's like, "Wow, tournaments aren't as scary as I thought they were." Like,
no, he had a blast. He had a blast. It sounded like.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm guessing winning paint helps with that, but still, I mean, I think even if he didn't win paint, he'd been like, "Dude, I had a really good weekend." So
that's fair.
All right, let's get into this topic because I'll tell you what, we need to talk about some of my favorite things and some of my least favorite things
about games.
All
right.
So, John, what do we mean by this?
Well, you mean, let's see, models, just for hobby-wise, lore.
Yep. Could be lore.
Organized play, such as tournaments or just, leagues that are running.
Yep. Just rules in general.
And then rules in general.
Yep. Yeah. Or a lack of any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which there are some things that have lack of that.
For
let
sure.
me tell you.
For sure. So that's what we mean by that. We're not talking about, because we mentioned this before the episode. John was like, didn't we have this topic already? Blah, blah, blah. And I think this has been something that's been smattered around a lot of our episodes.
Yeah.
But we've never really defined, I don't like this, or I really like this about X, Y, and Z game. So let's go through. We've got our game list that we go through on almost all these episodes. We'll probably have to add Warcrow back to this game list down the road whenever it finally gets going.
It's finally getting to some traction again. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing.
For sure. But the first one we have on the list is Middle-earth strategy battle game.
Yes.
Do you want me to start?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So my favorite thing about Middle-earth strategy battle game, I guess you could say, is lore. Like,
I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
lore.
I love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's the biggest reason to play it.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I would say the lore is there, and then like the second thing is the rules.
The rules are good.
I love their rules.
Mm-hmm.
They're nice, they're easy, simple, and it's just so much fun. Easy to learn, hard to master. Let's say.
Yeah, they're tactical, right? Yeah. Like the rules aren't stopping you from winning.
Right.
Yeah. There's no gotchas. There's no overpowered this or that, or it's just like, oh, here's the rules. Here's these cool little tricks you can do. You have to implement them right.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think that was probably the tops there. My least favorite thing about the game is, I would say, organized play, but it's really not organized play. It's GW's like mismanagement
of it. Yeah. Okay, I can see that. Yep.
Like, because organized play is out now, but we waited 6.5, 7 months since the game's been out to have more than 6 missions.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
And even then, so like, we got we finally got the last book for the armies, the last codex out for the game, and then we finally got a mission guide, basically like the 20 mission pack. And even then, so not only did it take forever to come out, but also they made the mission booklet specifically online order only.
See, that's terrible.
What the hell? Like we weren't even able to order it on our pre-order.
That's crazy.
Like, what the hell? We can go order it now, but guess what? Now it's out of stock.
Yeah, everybody's bought up.
Everybody's bought them up. So we're like, what the fuck?
It is a big thing GW's dealing with right now. It's in 40K and everything else. You want to go get something temporarily out of stock.
Temporary out of stock. Yep.
Like, it's killing.
And so they manage it poorly. And then even then, like, let's say you got your books. You were fine with the wait. You got your books. Okay, well then tell me, are you fine with the fact that we've had like a dozen different models spoiled since November and they're still not even out?
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't know.
I think a lot of the models that they've spoiled did just come out, but like we're still missing the Catapult Troll.
Yeah,
it got spoiled 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I think I got spoiled at Adepticon.
I don't know if it's a business thing. I don't know if it's what it is,
contract thing or what,
or setting up new warehouses or whatever they're doing. But something is definitely wrong in their supply chain.
Yep,
it seems like. And then I think my biggest problem with that is not just the models. My least favorite thing right now is just, and this is where 40K might excel, but it's just finding tournaments out there. Yep. Like, that's the thing. You want to play games that you can find opponents for, and you go on Best Coast Pairing, and you can't find anything nearby. You go to Longshanks. Thank you. Yep. I knew I was saying that wrong. Longshanks, and there's nothing nearby. Mm-hmm. And I don't live, in
California.
Yeah. Go play there,
or New York or whatever. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And I don't want to play online. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not. We're a non-TTS family here.
Yeah. So that's my big thing for that. That is, it's either not getting enough price support from them or enough push from them for them to have these big tournaments.
Yeah. Well then, okay. So let's go right into the complete opposite of that. Like you were kind of whispering there a minute ago. 40K. What's your favorite and least favorite thing for 40K?
A lot of people are different on this and stuff, and I understand. My favorite thing of 40K is it's a constantly evolving game.
Sure.
Every 6 months to a year, we're getting a new mission pack. Something's a little different. This one didn't change as much as the others, between the chapter approved to the.
But it still changed enough.
But it changed enough. And now they gave you asymmetric wars, to make it more crusadey, or twist, just if you want to have a beer and have fun.
All that stuff we don't care about.
Yeah, not competitively, but hey, I wouldn't mind doing
we don't do casuals here.
You say that. But anyways, so you're always changing.
Jesse might have went 0-5, but he's competitive.
Yeah, he is competitive. I will say that.
Yeah, he totally didn't bring a Baneblade to play in a GT at all. No.
You know what the weird thing? He wasn't the only one.
There were three. There were three Baneblades. What the hell? Like,
they looked cool.
They did look cool, and they worked better than they should have.
Yeah,
they didn't do very well, but they didn't do very bad.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I mean, I guess he got last, but I want to say like all his games were like 5 to 10 points apart.
Yeah,
so
he kept them close. I'll say that.
But
it's constantly evolving rules. I do. I think yes, there's overtimes where they're overtuned. Death Guard at the moment, but it's going to change, and they're always trying to find a balance.
It's funny because that is without a doubt some people's least favorite thing,
and that's why I said it is a huge controversy.
It's funny because the people I hear that love it come from video games, like you did.
Yeah,
right. I play League of Legends, and that updates every month. Like okay, and then there are people who hate it, are like people who have been rooted in mini wargaming, where they want like an annual update and that's it. And so, like, the old guard and the new guard kind of don't line up.
Look at it like Death Guard right now. If you didn't update that for a year,
sure,
you're going to have to ban at tournaments.
Because you would have, back in the day, I had one Orc Codex across multiple editions of the game.
Right.
I'd have one Orc Codex for 3 editions.
Right. Now, the Codex coming out, I don't like how much the Codex doesn't really matter. You buy the book for the lore and initial, and then it becomes, you're going to use the app.
Yeah, you're going to use the app. But yeah, and I just wish they'd let us buy the codexes digitally.
Same.
But they won't.
Same. But
we're going too far into there. Hang on. hang on. But like, I think GW is smart in realizing that the new audience is video gamers, or video game kind of people, and they want updates more than not.
Right.
So they want the game. Updating the game isn't necessarily to balance it; it's to make it new and interesting.
Right. Otherwise, you end with another game that is on this list.
So, what's your least favorite thing then?
My least favorite thing, honestly, I think my least favorite thing for them is the playtesting. I feel like playtesting just don't get enough love from them. And you go to these tournaments and stuff, and you almost like DACA, for the orcs in the past. They had to ban that in tournaments. Sure. Some of this stuff almost seems bannable
right out the gate.
Just out the gate. It's like, why is this not play tested enough? You guys are a big enough company.
I think they do it on purpose. I think they do play
to sell it.
Yeah, I think they try to sell it.
Well, and it's a good marketing strategy, but it also is like
there's a fine line.
Yeah.
If you do it too much, it gets banned, and then it doesn't sell at all.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. For me, my favorite thing on 40K is, you kind of hinted to this a minute ago as well, is the tournaments.
Oh yeah.
Like, there are, like, looking at this list, there's one other game on this list that I like, quote unquote, more than 40K, but I think 40K is my favorite game right now, because as somebody who, I think I mentioned this in the last episode or 2 episodes ago, as somebody who wants to compete, I like to go to tournaments. That's what I find fun. There's not another game on this list that has tournaments. We were just talking about this on the table.
Mm-hmm.
There were 12 tournaments a year, GTs a year, within 3-hour driving distance for us.
Yeah, I mean, we're already talking about going to Flying Monkey Con.
Yep. I mean, if I wanted to, I could go to a GT every month.
And then I'm thinking about going to the OWN GT. There's another OWN one at the end of
August.
July.
Yeah, I think it's August.
Maybe it's not a GT. Maybe it's an RTT. It's a one-dayer. So it's maybe the RTT. I was looking up today. July 19th, I think it is.
Yeah, they have an RTT on July 19th.
Yeah,
but they have a GT in August.
Yeah, that one's just too close to the other one, Flying Monkey Con.
Nah, so you can make it.
I couldn't do both.
You're gonna go. It's sold out.
Is it sold out now?
Yeah, they sell out almost immediately because they don't do very many tickets.
Oh, I didn't realize it was only 20.
Yeah, most of these OWN events sell out.
Like, I know the 5th one is sold out because I was thinking about doing that one.
Yeah, they only get like 30 tickets or less, so they sell out pretty much immediately. But which is good for them.
Yeah, no, it is good. Yeah, there's tickets remaining on the August.
On the GTs, yeah, they usually will be the case. But we should do this.
Dude, that's 2 weeks before the other one.
That's 2 weeks, bro. That's easy. It's in Oklahoma.
That's true.
It's in Yukon.
I'll have to see.
You should just go ask. So, anyways, all right. So, what were we talking about?
So, your favorite thing is you can always find tournaments. We can always
yeah. Like, I love that. I cannot go to a tournament. My biggest complaint. I'm just going to go and spoil it. No, I can't. I gotta wait. We should have ordered these in a more appropriate order. But that's my. Did I say? Oh, that's my favorite thing. Yeah. Okay. I was getting all scrambled, and I was like, oh shit. My most favorite thing about 40K is I can go to tournaments whenever I want.
Yes.
I'm allowed to be as competitive as I want to be, and the rules for the game in this current edition and where they're at right now aren't so shit that I can't do that, because there's a balancing act. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't care if I can go to a tournament every weekend if the rules suck.
Yeah.
Because that was the start of 10th edition.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to a tournament every weekend. The game was trash.
Yeah, we dropped it.
Yeah. I was like, I'm out. I don't want Eldar to fucking win every tournament.
Yeah.
Like, this is dumb. So, my least favorite thing about the game, I mean, I guess it's shit like that. It's the playtesting, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is whenever, I'm not overly happy with the quarterly updates. Like, I'm fine with them. I think they could get away with biannual, but that's fine. The quarterly updates haven't been so much of a headache for me that they've like messed the game up. But the lack of rules give a shit for new releases and stuff kills me.
Yes, agreed. 100%.
Like, it's almost like they just don't think about this shit. Right. But then part of me is like, well, you must be.
My thing is, like, for Knights, how's that going to change with all these toy jumps?
Imperial Knights. Imperial Knights is one of the best armies in the game already.
Yeah.
Now it's about to become, like, number 1.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see.
What are we doing here? Why did you make that change without the Codex coming out to balance the faction? It's the same thing with Space Wolves. They updated all the Space Wolves crap, but the Codex isn't out yet, so we can't use it.
Right.
Why? Like I literally have the codex in my hand right here.
Yep.
But anyways, they're them updating stuff isn't the problem. The way they update stuff is the problem.
Sure. Yeah.
So
I can agree with that.
But anyways, moving on. We could have a whole episode about 40K and what we don't like and do like.
It's fair.
Because I like the rules and the models or the lore and the models. I'll never not like that stuff. The models are always going to be the best models ever.
Yeah.
And the lore is always fantastic. But I'll always paint 40K, even if I'm not playing it.
That's fair.
So,
that's fair.
What about Age of Sigmar?
Age of Sigmar. Okay. Favorite things in these? The models. Okay. I love the fantasy. Like, I love the sci-fi of 40K, but I also really love the fantasy of...
Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, Stormcast Eternals, Seraphim. I love Seraphim, how they look and everything. So, yeah, the models for me is my favorite thing in there. My least favorite thing, we don't play it as much, so we don't play a lot of Age of Sigmar, but I have been looking at the new General Handbook that came out and their missions for that, and I looked at this thing and I'm like, it's hot garbage, it almost looks like.
Really?
To me. Yeah, it does not look like a good General's Handbook to me, at least. To me, in my opinion. I might need to watch a couple more battle reports. I've watched a few, and it just doesn't seem like it's for me. It's the play. It goes with that Age of Sigmar.
It's funny because I was going to say my favorite thing about Age of Sigmar is that it's not as high of a stress or competitive game, but that is also my least favorite thing.
Right.
That it's sometimes too beer and pretzels, too loose and goofy, and power combo this or that. Like it feels like 40K is trying to have a legit rule system, and Age of Sigmar is just trying to just do fun, crazy, wacky stuff.
Well, yeah, because I mean, look at they really don't even care about terrain. You know, they just set up stuff and they're like, we're going to charge at each other and shoot at each other.
And while that's cool, you know, having a more relaxed game, I just talked about how I love tournaments.
Right.
Well, this game's not going to scratch my itch in that way then.
Yeah.
Like, the models, for sure. I have a Soul Black Gravelords army that I'm going to get around to eventually because the models are dope. But when I was going to gun-ho do that army, I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to do this army. I started really looking at the rules and stuff, and I was like, man, I'm not going to enjoy this. Like, why am I in a rush to go buy and paint all this?
Right.
So...
What's crazy is I've painted probably about 80% of my Stormcast Eternals.
Yeah.
And then I just
never stopped.
I stopped.
Yeah, you'll get to them eventually.
Yeah.
But, okay. What about Kill Team?
Kill Team. Love. So Kill Team is like that.
Here we go.
Yeah. It's this game. I love and have a love-hate relationship. My favorite thing at Kill Team, it's fast. Okay. It's a fast skirmish game. It's probably my favorite skirmish. No, it's not. Scratch that, guys.
God, here we go. I know what that's saved for.
No, you'll actually probably be surprised.
Oh, it's going to be MCP.
It's going to be... No, it's not.
Is that not going to be your favorite skirmish? No. Okay, go ahead.
So my favorite thing for this is it's a fast-paced 40K, and I enjoy the rules of it. I enjoy how it plays. I kind of like how the universal equipment works and everything. We did that one tournament. We should do another soon.
We got a league starting Wednesday.
Do we have a league starting Wednesday?
Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
I should keep up with some stuff.
Yeah.
I gotta get those scouts built.
And I'm like, and now I've got people asking me for 40K games, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. So
gotta do both.
I hope people do some Kill Team Wednesday. Maybe some good friends of mine would be happy to do some Kill Team on Wednesday for me while I play 40K.
I don't know. I got to get better at 40K.
That's the problem. That's the problem, bro.
That's the problem. Yeah. On both the same night.
There it is.
Yeah, that's the problem. Oh yeah, there it is.
Starting on Wednesday.
That's only for a month. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, so it's a fast-paced game. I love the strategy in it. It's not too complicated. It's not anything that's like crazy complicating the rules, in my opinion. My least favorite thing about it, I don't know. I still feel like there's these problems with some wombo combos, and when you get to skirmish games, your games need to be balanced to hell and back, because if you unbalance there's hardly a chance of even playing. I mean, I
Yeah.
played in that tournament when I played against 1,000 Suns. That was just ridiculous.
brutal. Yeah.
And I was like, what is this for a skirmish game?
Okay. I would say my favorite thing is that it is also that it's fast. But I'd say my least favorite thing about it is there's no list building.
Okay, fair enough.
Like
you can bring this, and that's what you're bringing.
Yeah, like some of these kill teams have almost no list building, and then even the most complex teams, it's usually figured out that you're going to run. I'm always going to run these out of these 10 operatives. I'm going to run these 8 almost every time.
Yeah.
And then these other 2 I'll bring in here for these random corner cases. And that's so lame to me. There's no points. There's no list building, really. There's no options. It's just, here's your team and go.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish when I was first getting into the game, I thought you could bring because it mentions your roster can be 20 operatives. And it has to have at least 2 kill teams in it or something like that. I think an easy fix for them to have the game be a little more interesting and they would sell more product is to let your roster contain multiple factions.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to be contained to Astartes.
Okay.
So you could bring Phobos, Scouts, and Angels of Death.
Okay, that'd be cool.
All on one 20-man roster. You can't play with Scouts and Phobos on the same table, but be like, okay, I basically have a sideboard.
Right.
Oh, I'm playing against Rubric Marines. Well, or I can see my opponent's playing
one of these 3
Chaos
options.
Astartes. Yeah. He's got Thousand Suns, he's got Legionaries, he's got Blooded.
Yeah, you don't know what he's going to choose, but you'll choose something.
Well, I know that if he plays Thousand Suns, I just auto lose unless I play Phobos. But Phobos has a pretty good matchup into all 3 of those. So I'm going to play Phobos.
Right.
And then he's going to go, well, that guy's probably going to play Phobos because I have Thousand Suns. So I'll play Blooded because getting accurate with critical weapons is my best way to handle Marines. And that a lot of these games that have 2 list systems, so Infinity has that, Warcrow will probably have that.
Yeah.
War Machine has that. Malifaux has that. Well, Malifaux's got more. It's not just a 2 list system, right? It's you pick a faction and build your list every time.
Yeah.
But they have, but still, same idea, right? With these open lists, flexible options, you basically kind of have to play a game of chicken and go, well, what's the worst thing my opponent could bring?
Right.
And then both players then end up thinking that way and bring the most fair option. Or they go balls deep into the chicken option and have a bad game, or maybe they get rewarded for it, or...
what's crazy is without the list building, here's the thing. When it comes to Kill Team, it almost feels like you could just be playing Combat Patrol. You don't get to choose in that either.
Yeah, but Combat Patrol sucks.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You don't get to choose.
Yeah. Combat Patrol, if you're lucky, you have 2.
Yeah.
For your faction. And
yeah.
Yeah.
That's to me what you're playing when you don't give people options to.
But I do like that Kill Team is fast, and it is kind of if I had to pick another thing I like about Kill Team, so as to you picked fast, I would pick that it's a great way to wet your beak on a faction. I don't want to have to own a whole Imperial Guard army, but I want to paint some Imperial Guard. Okay, well I'll go buy a Deathcore Krieg box, and I can go play Kill Team with them if I want.
Now, maybe another favorite thing I'll throw in there just for fun is think about how people are using Kill Team on conjunction with 40K. Just they're doing their mission and whatever their outcome.
Yeah, the grand narrative.
The grand narrative.
Yep.
People have been doing.
We want to do that in our Apocalypse game.
People want to do that in the Apocalypse. I've seen people want to do that in some of their crusades that they're doing.
That's something I've always pushed in Crusade as well.
Yeah.
Is having the option to Kill Team is just as important.
So I was looking at some dudes running Crusade, and he's saying, okay, if my people take this town or they're trying to take this monastery or whatever, they'll have a big battle outside, and then the holy relics inside the cathedral, and they're going to set up a cathedral Kill Team fight that's going on inside.
And then you get a buff for your army or something. Yeah. Yeah. That's cool.
So it's just a really cool concept there.
That's cool. I do like that. All right, Kill Team's over.
Okay.
Marvel Crisis Protocol. Your favorite game?
No, not my favorite, but a fun one.
We've got some BOGO at the store that we need you to go ahead and get sometime too.
I already bought my BOGO.
You got BOGO stuff already?
Yeah.
What about your Shatterpoint BOGO?
No, I'm not watching.
Or your Legion.
Stop it.
What about your Legion BOGO?
MCP. MCP to me, my favorite thing is just it being thematic. It's just it's very thematic to the comic books. I love playing Web Warriors, and that's just it.
Yeah.
Other than that, the competitive scene doesn't really affect me too much. It's people bringing things that are combined with other things that don't make any freaking sense.
Is that your least favorite thing?
Yeah, that's my least favorite thing. But my favorite thing is just how cool it is to watch Spider-Man throw a car or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Jean Grey pick up a building and smash it into somebody.
Man, I'd have to say those are literally mine as well. Like when I the only time I've really ever played MCP a lot, I got into it during COVID because I could only really play games with my brother-in-law, and him and I got into MCP, and it didn't matter if you won or you lost. Like it felt like you just played a comic book.
Yeah,
it was so cool. And then whenever COVID was over and I was playing it again and a lot more, I was like, well, let's do tournaments, and the game is just grossly imbalanced because you can bring anything you want with anything you want, and it just sucks. Like it doesn't look cool. It's not very fair. If I'm trying to play thematically at all, I just get hosed.
Some multiverse out there is the excuse for whatever.
Yeah, and I hate that so much. But
yeah.
All right, well, MCP was pretty easy then. What about now? This is your favorite game,
Legion.
Star Wars Legion.
Legion. Favorite thing about this?
Oh my gosh.
Let's just stick with. To me, it's not the rules. I'll tell you that. The lore. I love Star Wars.
You can't count the lore.
Why not?
That's such a cop out.
Yeah, fair enough.
I know we said it for Middle Earth, but like we actually would play Middle Earth right now.
Ahsoka. That's it. That's all. That's all Legion
What's
has
your
for
least favorite thing?
The rules. I hate it. I hate the new edition so much.
Yeah. All right.
And then they're like, oh yeah, well, this goes back to the 40K. They're updating their stuff all the time. Right now, Rebels, I mean, I know it's winning out there some lists, but like if you were playing the Echo base or whatever, I don't think that's doing as well last I checked.
Sure.
I haven't checked in a while.
I haven't either,
but whenever it first came out, it was not doing well, and I was like, okay, guys, see you in a year.
Yeah, they think 18 to 24 months is an okay amount of time between rules updates, and I'm like, no, it's not.
No.
Apparently, I just talked to Josh Cook tonight, and he told me they had a surprise points update and errata and universal upgrade release like a week ago.
Let's talk about that too. Surprise.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
That was gonna be my least favorite thing. Is that AMG just sucks as a company because the edition was not a new addition to them. They dropped it over a weekend without saying a word about it. Nobody knew what was going on. They're pulling models from armies now and just saying, "No, we don't want to make those anymore." Yeah. Like the Emperor and the Royal Guard are just gone. And it's like, oh, okay, that was like an entire archetype of the Empire army that you just are going to say you're not going to allow anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I don't like AMG.
Well, let's say, yeah. And then there was the cards. They routed their cards and like, hey, guys, you want to play? Go print your cards. Go
print your own cards. Yeah, they just suck at everything.
To me, that's like the video game going to Diablo and be like, do you guys not own phones? It's like, do you not own a printer to go print your cards?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess my least favorite thing is definitely AMG.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is probably the lore. I think that's my favorite thing.
Yeah, the lore?
No. Plo Koon, how about that? Oh, he's not even in the game. That's just my cool model I did.
Yeah.
Man, my favorite thing, probably the people. I really liked the Legion community abroad. It was fun. They all seemed to be really cool people. Yeah. When I would go to FLG tournaments and play with people, they always seemed really fun, and Adepticon and stuff. And our local scene was always, I miss seeing some of those guys, but yeah, AMG just sucks, and they kind of killed the game. And I'm not a diehard. I don't really like Star Wars. I don't think Star Wars is that cool. I think Star Wars is fun and it's neat. And I like some of the stuff. Like clones look really freaking cool.
Yeah.
And stormtroopers and Darth Vader and shit. But like, I don't like Star Wars enough. Like I have a 40K tattoo. I would never put Star Wars on my body.
Oh really?
Never.
I probably wouldn't put Star Wars.
Yeah, right. I just would never. Like,
I got too many Final Fantasy tattoos.
If I had to rank IPs that would go on my body, next episode topic right here.
Oh, there you go.
IPs that I would put on my body. 40K.
Yeah.
Pokemon. Lord of the Rings.
Okay, I can see that.
That's the only shit I'd be putting on my body.
It's fair.
If it's not like custom art and stuff, that's it. Like I don't care about and I guess I shouldn't just say 40K, like mini wargaming stuff in general, I would probably put on my body. but I can't count Legion because it's still like I'm not going to get a tattoo of a Star Wars Legion model. It's going to be Darth Vader, and at that point, it's
Right.
just fucking Darth Vader. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, for the most part, it'll only be 40K stuff, but like I'd get an Infinity tattoo.
There you go.
That'd be cool as shit. So, but anyways, yeah, I'm not a big fan of AMG.
Well, you know, I'm getting a 40K tattoo. I showed it to you right before the episode.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna get another one.
There you go.
So, all right, Legion, MCP are trash. AMG's a horrible company. Kings of War.
Kings of War. Favorite thing about this, to me, it is really well with those rules. It is one of those games that can get away with like a yearly update. You know what I'm saying? It is well balanced, a lot of fun, and you got great factions. I guess I would say.
Yeah.
You know, I can't say the models are great because it's model agnostic. So people,
but the themes of the armies are really cool.
Nice, yeah.
They give enough direction that the models people end up picking for their armies will always look cool.
Right.
Yeah. So what's your least favorite thing?
My least favorite thing, I would say it's really just one rule, and
here we go.
It's the routing or them running
double the
double sixes. Yeah, the route test. You might have half your army surviving, and then you just rolled a really bad route test, and then
you roll double ones, and that guy doesn't die. Who should have been?
Are you roll double sixes, and your army
should never have?
Yeah,
right.
And
that's fair.
It can swing the game really hard one way on that.
That's fair.
So to me, that's like the worst part of that. Because I've had games where I was like, okay, the only way these people are going to leave is if I roll double sixes. Crap. And it happened.
And then that's what you're gonna. Yeah, it's always gonna happen whenever it matters.
Well, but it doesn't happen every game. But the game where it does happen, it's like, well, that's the thing that's going to cause me to lose.
Right.
This. There's no way I recover.
Yeah,
especially if it's like my horde.
Because sometimes you'll roll box cars and it's like, okay, they were gonna die anyways. I don't care what.
Yeah.
Like, cool. But yeah, there'll definitely be games. It's like crits, right? And Infinity too. So I don't think crits are that bad, but because you at least get to save and stuff against a crit.
Or MCP where you get 8 attacks on you and you roll 0 defense dice and your guy KOs.
Right. And you just didn't have a chance to do anything with them. Yeah. So I mean, dice happen.
Right, dice happen.
But like in that mechanic specifically, it's almost like, dude, I earned killing you, or I earned surviving. That shouldn't happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, okay,
that's my only thing. If there was a plus or minus based off the model count or something to sway it, so it would not happen as often or couldn't happen unless so many more were dead.
They would literally just have to add a wound stat to the game,
right?
And be like, hey, you're not allowed to boxcar somebody until they've taken 10 wounds, or like this regiment, like don't make wounds the number they need to kill you. Still make it the route testing, but basically like, hey, boxcars don't matter until you hit this point.
Yeah, I think if you did that, that would get rid of my least favorite.
Like if double ones always still failed, I could live with that. I could live more than I could live with boxcars just kill me.
That guy's just insane bravery. You got lucky. I love it.
Yeah,
sure.
Right. Yeah, cool. Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, hey, cool. That fucking guy just happened to not fucking. Because here's the other thing too. Currently, if you snake eyes, and they're like bloodied to hell, they might live, but they're like -1 to hit, and they're like half their attacks are gone and shit like that. Right? They have a bunch of nerfs, so it's like, okay, I didn't kill you.
You're not going to do
anything. So literally, as long as it's not you're blocking me from getting an objective, which does happen, then it's like, okay, cool. That isn't that bad.
Right.
But getting randomly boxcarred and then either wavered or killed because of it sucks.
Yes.
So like if they had a new stat in the game that was basically wounds, you can call it whatever you want.
Right.
But wounds, for the lack of thought here, and be like, okay, cool. Well, boxcars don't waver until this number
comes up.
Boxcars can't kill you until this number.
Yeah.
Like basically just a secondary route stat.
It's just trying to protect that horde from getting something.
Yeah. Like, I shot you with an arrow and then I boxcarred you. And sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Your whole line just got jammed.
Yeah.
Whoops. Like, yeah, that's just.
And then you just handshake at that point.
Yeah. Like, no, that horde of fucking lizardmen isn't going to give a shit about Jerry who got throat shot like by a crossbow across the fucking board.
Right.
They're gonna keep going,
Right.
Because that also fucking wouldn't happen in real life or in any of these other books or these movies. Like the Urukai didn't just fucking halt when they were marching on Helm's Deep just because a dude got shot in the throat.
Right.
Like they stopped chanting at one point, but then they got really fucking mad and went right back at it. Like they don't just drop everything they're doing because a guy got shot or stabbed or whatever. Right? Like it's just not how that works. But
so that's my favorite and least favorite.
I didn't even get to do mine.
Well, go ahead.
Whew. My favorites, my favorite is probably the rules too. I really do like the rule. I think it's one of the better rules for a game out there. Period. Like overall, even with that stuff we talked about, I know turn 7 roll. Oh shit, we didn't even bring up double turn on AOS, but I'm not a double turn guy either.
I don't mind it because
it's not as bad as it used to be.
It's not as bad as it used to be.
But then I'm kind of like, you doctored it up to the point to why you even have it.
Right.
It's more. Anyways, we're done with AOS.
Yeah.
Must not have been that bad. So, but no, my favorite thing with Cal is like even with the like I know rolling for turn 7 is a contentious point for a lot of people. The boxcars and the snake eyes thing is a contentious point for a lot of people, and I totally I've played Varangur where it's all about Alpha Strike, and so if you have a snake eyes or a box car like on a very pivotal turn, you do just lose.
Yeah.
Like that's how that army works. If you just roll bad, you are going to just lose.
Yeah.
And so, but I still think the rules overall, I think it's one of the best games out there.
Yeah, I will agree with you. The rules wise, it's very balanced.
My least favorite thing is their models.
Right.
The Mantic models, while they're a lot better than they used to be, and I think they're a lot better than people give them credit for, it's almost an unmarketable game.
Right, you can't market this thing because they have a Mantic vault and they're like, just go print it yourself.
Yeah. So not only is the game fucking mini agnostic, so why would I buy those models when I could just go buy or 3D print my own? But the company themselves is actually encouraging that by having a 3D service. And I'm like, why as a store owner would I fucking care?
Right.
Like I work at a store. Why am I going to go tell Mike to carry this game?
Right.
Why?
They're promoting you to go print.
And then as a consumer, I've bought all this stuff from you, and then you went and put it on the vault. So I've spent 4 times as much money as I was supposed to, and now you want to print it? Like, that's such a shitty fucking thing.
Yes.
I hate it. I think Mantic's models aren't that great. They've made the game almost unmarketable and unsellable, and they don't really seem to care.
Right, yeah. I agree with you. I sat there and I was like, I didn't like the minis for certain things, and I just went online and got my own.
Yeah,
because
use a Warhammer model, use a different 3D print,
right?
Whatever. Yeah,
I saw a lot of people in tournaments bring some weird things. Like the My Little Pony army that I saw in one of the tournaments.
That was a ringer.
Well, I'm just playing.
To be fair.
And then the other one was people bringing 40K models and putting them on there, and they.
I played against a Lego army.
You played against a Lego army?
I was not a fan. I was very mad about it.
I thought about just putting sticks on, little stick figures.
And you could.
Army.
Technically, per the rules, you can.
I know.
And it sucks.
All right.
So, Malifaux. John,
is this your
favorite game? Is this a favorite skirmish game?
This is my favorite skirmish game.
That's what you were going to say earlier?
Yeah.
You said you didn't think it was going to be what I thought it was.
No, it's Infinity's my favorite skirmish.
Is it really?
Yeah, I love it.
You're full of shit.
No, Malifaux.
Okay, I'm confused.
Let me tell you here. Infinity
I'm
is
so
my favorite
confused. All right, really?
Malifaux is
sucks. There's no favorite thing about it.
There is a favorite thing.
No, that was great, John. Good talk.
I love 4th edition's coming out.
Oh God, your favorite thing is that there's a new edition.
There's a new edition coming out,
and it has to just be better than the one.
It's probably going to be better than the last one. I hope it's going to be better than the last one.
It has to be, otherwise it's not going to go anywhere.
I have seen for my factions, the new stuff and what's going on and what's in the new missions and everything, and it does seem a lot better balanced. And the rules are simplifying, which is great. Turns are supposed to be shorter. It looks like it's doing well, but again, my favorite thing in this is just the duels. I love the fact of cheating and dueling and stuff like that. It's like playing a card game, but not playing a card game. Rules are one thing, and then the models. The models are small.
You can have. Hang on now.
I can have 2 favorite things.
No,
don't you take that away from me.
So what's your least favorite thing now? You can't.
My least favorite thing.
Golly.
I gotta say, my least favorite thing is probably the rules. So right now, how it is,
My least favorite thing is the game. I don't. That's what John just said.
The rules
I
in
just
it
don't like the game.
The rules in it are terrible for a couple of things. Keywords being one huge thing. To me, every unit, every model has like 5 or 6 keywords. And to get through all that stuff, this guy's got to activate, do this, jump on that, do this. Your turns will start taking forever. You need to simplify that. And I'm kind of hoping they're going to try to do that. I can tell you, looking at some of my factions, they definitely simplified the rules. And they made common keywords.
Oh, universal keywords? Cool.
So my faction shares certain universal keywords, and I'm like, cool. You know that if I say this whole people have this.
Is what you mean by it. Yeah. Well,
what about you? What's your favorite thing about Malifaux?
I don't want to say models, because it's not just the models. I was going to say, like, aesthetic overall. Like, that includes the lore. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but, like, because it's such a niche, unique setting, game, rule. Like the models are very unique. Like that gothic, Western Cthulhian horror vibe that it has going on. Like it's Cowboys and Cthulhu meets Victorian horror, like Politicos. And so it's a really unique aesthetic and setting and the lore. It's all, I actually really enjoy all that. I like the card mechanic as well, the dueling and stuff. But the fate hand and all that's cool. But I really do appreciate the setting. It's probably the most appealing part of the game for me. Now, some people hate it.
Now, I'll tell you what. I was, right before I came over, and I didn't get to watch it, but shout out to Play on Tabletop. I saw they're playing this new skirmish game that kind of looks more like that Western style with some kind of like zombie. It was pretty cool. I'll tell you that. I can't remember. I didn't get to watch
Play
it.
on Tabletop.
Or not.
Tabletop Titans?
No. What is
Tabletop Tour Guides. That's us.
Yeah, no.
Hang on. Who it be? Who it be?
Play on, right?
How do I get my Play on Tabletop?
Yeah, 40K in 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's Play on Tabletop.
Yeah, I'm not crazy.
Are you talking about MCP?
No,
these guys. Paradise. Yeah, we saw that at Adepticon. I wasn't super.
Yeah. Sorry, careful with ears.
I wasn't super into it. I don't. This is just like.
I don't know if
Mad
I'm
Max
super
Malifaux.
into it, but I did see like the Raiders in this, and it looked pretty cool for the model wise.
No, I'm not into it.
Well,
I'd rather play Malifaux.
Like, I like that model. Noah Reed people who are looking at on Raiders and real quick, and I just think those models are pretty cool.
Okay.
I would say I'd put them in my display case. If I could paint
Okay.
Anyways,
I like them Slug Lords.
Oh yeah, you like those Slug Lords?
That guy looks cool. It looks like it's like Mad Max the miniatures game.
Sure.
And I'm like, all right, whatever. But no, I really like Malifaux that I can have showgirls dueling in the street with Cthulhu.
Okay, like, yeah, that's fair.
I think the only thing I've never liked from Malifaux was the zombie hookers with Seamus.
Oh yeah.
I just always thought that was so stupid and like over the top, like, and kind of gross. I was like, what the hell? Like, what are we doing?
I think Malifaux also, as a skirmish game, has way too many models, and they have trouble balancing because of all the models.
Because it's a skirmish game that has a model line as big as an army game.
Yeah, that's true. So, and they have something called Dead Hand, but they don't put anything in there.
Yeah, yeah,
you guys need to start. Yeah, you guys need to start putting some stuff in there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they should just. What they ought to do is, like, I don't know how many there are. Let's say there's 50 masters, though.
Right.
They need to have 20 active, and then 30 in dead hand, and then every season rotate.
Yeah, something like that.
Like, you just be like, hey, every other season we're gonna take 10. Every season we're gonna take 10 out and put 10 in.
Right.
Then 10 out, then 10 in, then 10 out. So you get 2 seasons basically with your master. But then it's like, and then it's gone, and then another 10 show up, and then that way, what happens is, like, if you would have to be offset the first time, but like 20 of them, then these 10 are gone, these 10 are in. So now these guys had to play 1 year of this meta, another year of this other meta. Then these guys are gone, and then these other guys are in. And so it makes it basically you're getting 2 years of different metas with 10 masters.
Right. And I'll give you that.
Like, that'd be cool. But they suck at everything.
I'll tell you what. Yeah. Here's the thing. This is going to go back to, this is where, I won't say suck at everything, but this is where I'm going to say it. 40K gets it better. It is, the rules are changing. Okay. I can't tell you how many battle reports you can see out there for Malifaux where it is the same tournament. Like they're watching a tournament and it is the same masters over and over and over and over.
Yep.
And you don't even see half those other masters because they're not
good or they're whatever. Yeah.
And you're waiting a year and a half for that to get balanced. And you're like, okay, I don't want to play this, so I'm going to go play a different war game.
Right. So, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, I'm like, and as much as I like a Malifaux as an aesthetic, like, I would love to have a custom Malifaux board in the stream room and everything, and like pull out my Malifaux guys and play again. And I think there's some really interesting lore and stories they can tell. It's one of the only games that isn't Infinity that the game is thematic and fun without taking away from the competitive value.
Right.
Like, 40K doesn't always feel thematic. To really get an immersive thematic experience, I have to play Crusade. Well, now it's not competitive. Malifaux, I feel like I'm playing a story, and I'm able to compete with quote-unquote tournament rules.
Right.
And Infinity does that too, I think, really well, and I hope Warcrow follows that trend. But my least favorite thing with Malifaux, before we get way off, I haven't even said that, the fucking time it takes to play.
It does take it is a skirmish game that plays as long as a war game.
It's so long.
Like a full-on army game.
Like, I just can't stand it.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right, we're down to our last three. Do we want to do any of these out of order? We want to save any of these for last?
Nah, I'm okay with them.
Let's do the next one then is Infinity.
Okay.
So, John,
favorite thing about Infinity?
Your favorite mini war game, skirmish game, you've said just now.
It is my favorite.
There's only like 2 in this whole list, but
I mean,
there's like 5.
Yeah, but
okay. So, what's your favorite thing about it?
It's got a love-hate here. It's the rules and it's not the rules. It's both my favorite and my least favorite. I love how the ARO works. I love how the tokens work for orders and all that stuff. My least favorite thing is how many abilities are there. It is not hard for you to get in, or it is hard for you to get into.
Yeah.
There's too many abilities out there. They aren't shared or something. And it takes me forever to start being like, okay, I finally got, Ariadna down, but now I have to go and figure out, another faction, combined army.
Right.
And they have a whole different list and it just grows exponentially. And it's like, unless you are a hardcore player, you're not going to get that memorized. It'll take years to memorize that all.
I've got my PhD in Infinity. Don't worry.
I mean, yeah, that's fair, but that's where it comes in. Again, so the core rules are there for me, but whenever it comes to, and I know the app's great. The app is what saves that for me to be able to be like, okay, what does, Berserker do or anything like that. Yeah. So
right, for sure. And the app, I think, is the best. I think it's the best app in wargaming. I don't want to use that as my favorite thing.
Ooh, I don't know if it's my best app in wargaming.
What do you think is the best app?
40Ks.
It's definitely not.
Why?
First of all, it's got to be paid for.
Well,
by buying a dumb fucking $80 rulebook.
I will give you that.
And I don't get to make more than 3 lists without subscribing to Warhammer fucking Plus.
Oh, which I subscribe to.
I didn't know that either until like a week ago.
I didn't even know that because I've always been a Warhammer Plus subscriber.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is like I didn't know that until a week ago until somebody brought that to my attention.
Oh, really? Okay.
And they're like, yeah, I can only save 3 lists. And I was like, what?
Why?
And then I was like, oh, fuck, that's Warhammer Plus. That's shit. Like, do you realize how much money we're paying to have that app just function?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, there's not... And here's the other thing, too, with me. So, I think Malifaux, War Machine, and Infinity have 10 times better apps. I like that. Infinity, all the rules are hyperlinkable.
That's nice.
And it's all free. The Army Builder makes sense. I can filter things down. I can search things better. Dude, I hate that I have to, like... dude, the only filtering done in Warhammer is character, battle line, other, and then allies.
I think once you go in though, there's a search bar you can type in
for the units.
Yeah, so if I go to character, watch this, guys. We're gonna pull up our phones.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I'm on Space Marines here. Characters. Okay, sure. I can search for the guy.
Yeah, you can search for him. I mean, yeah, okay,
I
so you
still
have to
don't.
pay for it. I understand.
Also paying for it for me having to pay for this for what it is sucks.
I mean, yeah,
This is trash for me having to pay for it. For
well,
me having to spend $60 a year, or $80 a year, or whatever it is for Warhammer Plus, and then having to spend $60 to $80 for every codex to get a fucking digital code. This sucks.
right.
Especially whenever the Kill Team app is free. The Kill Team app's 100% for free.
Oh, that's fair.
And it's got all the missions and everything. I don't even have to go buy the mission packs.
So you're gonna have to, if you're playing something, you're gonna buy the codex anyways.
No, I don't. No, I'm not going to, because I'm playing Infinity and I don't have to do that anyways. That's my point. Is like Infinity's app. I mean, I love the. I know 40K's got a play mode, but I love that I can just like filter through everything however I want by weapon. Even like can't do that in 40K. Oh, I only want bolters. Nope.
No,
Good
that's
fucking
fair.
luck. You know what I mean? You got to go figure them out. Like, what's got thunder hammers in my army? I don't know.
That's fair.
You better have the model, I guess. And then there's a play mode. Now, this is something the Battle Bunker does do, but like it only shows me what's on what I've got in my list. So and then the War Machine app and the Mouthful app will actually let you play and share a match with somebody.
Right. The
I
Malaphone,
love
I love that.
I love that.
I love that too.
So
It's like if you could have ITC inside the 40K app, so you could track.
yeah, I love that. Now, and here's the other thing. Why do I have to have another app to track my missions?
That's true.
Don't do that in Malifaux.
I don't think that that's incorrect.
Don't do that in
it
War
should
Machine.
be, like I said, that ITC should be built in.
Yeah. So no, I'm not even talking about like BCP ITC stuff. I'm talking about play on. I'm talking about what is it called? The tabletop battles.
Sorry, yeah, that's what I meant when I was saying
like
ITC.
why is that a whole ass other app?
Yeah, it should just be built in.
That I don't like. Anyways, we're talking about Infinity right now.
Sure.
Are we?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I forgot. You got me way off on a tangent. What was your least favorite thing for Infinity?
It was the rules.
That's right. It was the rules. You got me way off. And I have a very strong opinion on apps and war games because they've been paid for and not paid for on and off throughout the years by different people.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think 40K's app is better than it's ever been, and I like it and I use it, but it is not the best app at all, in my opinion. It's better than Legion and MCP, who don't have an app.
Right.
So for sure they're better than some. But my favorite thing for Infinity, man, it's got to be the rules. I think it's the best rule set of any game ever. Like maybe I'm lucky that like I have played for over a decade, and like I've won a tournament this year. I've gotten in 5 tournament under my belt now, and I've played against some very high end people, and I've played for a long time. And I just have all that kind of stuff just like second nature. I don't feel like the rules are that complicated, but I do believe in the newbie to intermediate player hump is large.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once you've gotten over that hump, it's so much easier. And like, so I feel like, not necessarily you specifically, but like people just have to play for like 3 to 4 months, like consistently, like nonstop, like every week, like maybe more like 4 to 5 months of playing like every week or every other week even, and looking at list building and stuff like that. I also think that like by playing a lot of other games, like I noticed this too, like I was struggling to get back into Infinity for a while because I was playing everything else.
Right.
And so by playing a bunch of different games, Infinity is not a game that really lets you learn how to compete with it if it's not your only game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a complicated game.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say, so to highlight all that, it's the only game, and this is my favorite thing about it. It's the only game that has enough variables to impact list building that there's no net listing, there's no one list does it all.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 2-list game because you have to. You could build an all-comers list, but the game's not designed to be done that way. Like, let's just say I have 10 guys, and in my list of 10 guys, I have 3 hackers. Sure, technically, that's enough specialists to do every mission in the game. But some missions will say, oh, this mission gives a forward observer bonus. This mission gives a doctor bonus. This mission gives an engineer bonus. So I'm going to change my list now for that mission. Like, you can't build, like, and this is very abnormal for a lot of games. A lot of games, you got to build one list or maybe two lists, like War Machine, and those lists have to be able to do every mission in the game.
Yeah.
Infinity is not like that. Infinity is, you build a list for the mission.
Okay.
And so, like, that's how it has to be done. You can't just build one list to rule them all. It just isn't going to work. Like, so at tournaments, you'll get the missions advertised ahead of time. And so what'll happen is you'll usually have like one or two missions that you're like, yo, I could build a list just for that mission. And I can build a list for this just for this mission. And then you have another mission where you're like, oh man, which one of my two lists is going to do double duty to cover that mission now? And it's like, oh, well, we have a killing mission that's, firefight. You lose points for having specialist die. So I don't want to bring specialist. So I'm not going to have a list with any specialist in it now for firefight. But then I have a list, but then my other two missions at the tournament are going to be an engineer bonus one and a hacker bonus one. So I got to make sure that now I have one engineer, maybe two hackers. I got to find that ratio, right? That sweet spot. You can't just build one list.
Right.
And that's why the game stays interesting. They also change the missions every year. They change, like, every season. They call them ITS seasons. It's International Tournament System. That's their organized play. They have a new season every year that adds new rules. They change the missions up. So you're never getting stale. Like, the missions the missions are diverse enough and require enough variables and variety of your list building that you can't solve the game. And by the time that you would solve the game, well, new season's out. We swapped out 10 of those missions and we added a couple more special rules. Okay. Like this year, character units, like named characters, are veterans. Okay. So now when I'm looking at my secondary deck, my classified deck, and 3 or 4 of the secondaries say a veteran can do this, I'm not having to go look for a veteran unit. I can just bring the character I was going to bring, Joan of Arc. All right, cool. Right. Joan of Arc can just go do this stuff. So, anyways, my least favorite part about the game is probably my favorite thing about 40K, which is that there's, as much as I love Infinity, if I could go to an Infinity tournament, as much as I could go to a 40K tournament, I would only ever be playing Infinity.
You drop 40K.
And 40K would be I'm going to go to the Grand Narrative every year. Maybe I'll do a Crusade. I'll maybe do, I would probably look at doing like 3 events a year.
Right.
And I would play, the 7 GTs I've done this year for 40K would have, without a doubt, been 7 Infinity GTs instead. Without a doubt. Like, I'd still always go to the Grand Narrative. Even when we dropped 40K at the start of 10th edition, I still went to the Grand Narrative. I'm never going to quit playing 40K. But, like, because the Grand Narrative is just too fun.
Right.
But I would immediately shift my focus on it to be casual. Be like, all right, what's the Crusade we're going to do this month? Or what fun tournament is
he's off the team, guys. He's not.
Yeah, that's true. As soon as 40K sucks again, the Scions are disbanded. So that's my least favorite thing about Infinity. I was talking to Josh Farmer the other day about this, about how, like, that's its biggest weakness.
You don't have a tournament
scene. Like, I don't have a tournament scene. I can't go to a tournament even once a month.
Right.
Like, if I want to go to a tournament once a month...
You're hosting it.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm hosting it, and then I can't play usually. Or I'm driving to Kansas City, which is 5 hours. Yeah. Or I'm driving to Dallas, which is 3 hours, 3.5 hours. And I just don't want to have to do that all the time.
Fair.
So, like, but, and they're not even, sorry, and that's for 1 days.
Mm-hmm.
I can drive to Dallas or Kansas City or Wichita or Lawrence or even just down the street, Oklahoma, for a 2-day, like every month for 40K. So.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, we got to move on because I could talk about this all night. So Judgment.
Now, what are we at in time?
We're at an hour 15.
All right, fair.
So we're doing pretty good.
Judgment.
Yeah, where's Judgment at, John?
Okay, Judgment. Favorite thing. I love their models. I mean, that's it. Though hobby wise, when you're talking about playing these army games and everything, you're playing the same model over and over. Each one of these models is unique, different. They none of them match the other. It's not basic blue boys or basic color schemes. It's, hey, she's going to look like this. She might be green, while this one over here is wearing all metal. You never know. Yeah. And you can mismatch all that, and it's just a fun thing. That's my favorite. The least favorite thing about this is The rules. It really is. It's the update of the rules. I don't know if it's my video game in me, but a year goes by, we might get an update to the characters a little bit, but the rule set of the game, maybe the terrain changes barely, but the rule set of the game isn't there. There's no secondaries. We always are trying to get souls through killing somebody. You're always going to play a certain combo. You're always going to try to find a counter for it, and then that's it.
The game's the same.
Yeah, you're always playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that ever changes is the characters that are out.
Yeah.
And then even that's not always exciting enough.
Right.
Like you said this before, you would basically have to stop playing for 6 months, come back and play, and be like, "Oh, this is exciting. There's so many new characters now that the game's new again." And then in a couple of months you figured it out, and then you got to wait again.
If you told me right now that you were like, "Hey, on Wednesday instead of playing 4K, do you want to go play Judgment?" I'd be like, "Heck yeah, I do."
Yeah,
because I haven't played it in 6 months or something like that.
What you'd really do is you'd shoot me because you'd be like, "Drew's been abducted," and he would never ask to do that. So
that's it. And it got so stale for me. I enjoyed the tournament scene for a while, but honestly, when LSO came out there, my wife's like, "Why don't we go to LSO?" And I was like,
LVO.
LVO. I was like, I don't even want to play the game.
Yeah, because you got to invite to Vegas.
Yeah, and my wife wanted to go, and I was like, it sounds fun, but I don't want to go for that game. I just want to go to do other things.
Right. No,
Sorry,
I don't blame you.
It's needed. It needs something more, something to give it a twist. What about you?
Oh man, favorite thing. It's kind of hard to say because I really love the lore, but the lore's not really out. Like I've gotten some sneak peeks at stuff, and I think it's I personally love, and I don't know if this is the direction that they want to keep going. I hope it is, but I personally love that it is all genres. Mm-hmm. Like it makes sense because of all the time travel and think about it, right? So I mean, I grew up in church. I'm not a religious fellow for the record, but like I like theology. I like religions. I like studying religions. I think it's really cool. I like mythologies and stuff like that too. To me, I really liked the fact that they were like, well, you're in the afterlife. There's no time, which is like a common thing, right? I mean, like if I died today and it's the same heaven as a dude that died 200 years ago,
right?
He's going to be wearing a fucking wig and powdered wig and a musket and shit like that, and I'm going to have a cell phone. You know what I mean? Like, that I love that they have that in the game.
Right.
Like, oh, this was a ancient warrior, dwarf berserker. Mm-hmm. Oh, but this dude's like in a trench warfare, musket and grenade, the World War 19 for the dwarves or whatever, right? Like, and they're in the same fighting alongside each other right now.
Right.
And they might even know each other. Or, well, they might know of, like, the one might know of the other. Right. Like, that was actually a cool bit they did in the original game was one of the characters was a powerful wizard, and their successors that got, like, their rule book and stuff, on the model, there was a gravestone that had the name of the original character on the gravestone.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm like, that's such a cool Easter egg. It's a cool nod at this other character.
Yeah.
And I love that, like, we're all out of time fighting, because it also helps explain why you might be fighting for this god this one time, not this other time, and like, oh, well, or why you're fighting a mirror match, like, oh, well, this is why is Brock over there playing for Krognar, and he's over here playing for Ishta? Oh, this is young Brock, when he was a little more reckless, and he was committed to different, beliefs and passions, and that's older, more wise Brock, right? And it's like, oh, that makes sense. Like, that's really cool. And why is there a space marine fighting a wizard, right? It's like, oh, well, it's because that guy's from, 200, whatever in the future, and
I was just thinking, that out of time, that young Brock versus the old Brock, I would have loved to see a variation in models too.
Well, and that's what I always excused. That's what I always explained for people. So the actual Brock model that you buy that's not in the starter has a mohawk option.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, that's young Brock. That's when he's fighting for Brulin.
And then you buy another.
And then bald Brock is older Brock when he's fighting for Ishta.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I always explained it as. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's dope. It's very cool. Or like Isabel, right? If they ever came out with another model for her. Why
you know, you gotta put salt in the wounds every
Squire
time.
Isabel is like when she's fighting for Ishta, and then maybe she turns into a different faction later.
If only I loved the Kickstarter, you know, I would have gotten that really awesome.
The Kickstarter that didn't get completed in time. Anyways, so
moving on.
My favorite thing about it is the setting. I think the setting is very cool. It's got a lot of strengths to it. My least favorite thing for the game is that I'm with you on the missions and stuff. Like the game doesn't change enough to keep it interesting. The game really has a strong lack of basically like secondary win conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you had alternate win conditions, like in 40K, you have secondary objectives and primary objectives. There's nothing like that. It's the same. It's not even that there's different primary missions. You're playing the exact same primary mission every night. It would be like if we said, "Hey, let's play a game of 40K, and we're always going to do mission A, but we'll change it from layout 1 through 8."
Yeah.
No one would play that.
Right.
No one would play that, and they can't seem to understand that.
Yeah.
So that's all that's doing. No one would buy that game. No one would play 40K.
Right.
No. So, all right, that's it on Judgment. We're about hour 20. We got one game left.
War Machine
that you haven't played at all. It's called War Machine by Privateer Press / Steamforge Games.
Sure.
So, what's your favorite thing about War Machine? It's the lore, isn't it? No, I'm just kidding.
No. You know, so I have watched some battle reports of War Machine because I am wanting to learn before I just come up there and get wrecked.
Sure, we didn't have a slow grow league to learn how to play at all or anything. Yeah. You could have used that as a way to learn, but it's okay.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Couldn't find time, guys.
It's fine. This is fine.
But I will say, from what I can, I do enjoy. I wouldn't say the rules as much as just like its own unique style of playing, I guess I would say, when it comes to the jacks and everything and getting damage and stuff. I think that it's very unique. It's very different.
It's kind of chess-like.
You're not just taking wounds and stuff. Yeah, it's very... So, to me, that's my favorite thing about it.
Okay. Yeah, I like that a lot, too. What's your least favorite thing?
My least favorite thing? You know, I would say... To me, and it's just a personal preference, I just don't like the bases. And I know this is going to sound weird, but the basing on it,
like lipped rounded bases?
Have the lipped rounded bases. I don't like lipped rounded bases.
Okay.
I know, like, I could have said a lot of things, but to me, hobby wise, I hate them. When I did it,
somebody hasn't played the game yet. Whenever that's their
when that's their least favorite.
Yes.
Well, I'm painting up mine, and I'm like.
That's fair. That's what you're doing the most right now for the game.
I'm painting up mine for the game, and I'm always looking at the bases, and I'm trying to say something cool, and the first thing I'm going to do is resin fill them.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I had a similar problem with that with mine, that like I had to take like a toothpick and go around all the... I did a bunch of milliput infill, and it was like overlapping, so not only did it like... It was all uneven. It was like, and then it was like, some of it was up against flush with the lip and some of it wasn't. I was like, so it didn't look right. And so I took a toothpick and went through and made the ring around my bases again so it looked more uniform and stuff. Right. So, which is just a pain in the ass.
Yes.
So, yeah, you're right.
It's just like my Malifaux with the lips. I had to take, I took toothpicks, or not toothpicks, but, gosh, what are they? The boards. Like,
Like little
doctors use and stuff like that.
Popsicle sticks.
Yeah, popsicle sticks. I cut them up and I filled the bottom with boards so my showgirls were on a stage.
Yeah.
But the lip would always be a problem. I'd have to like come at certain angles. And I couldn't just take a freaking, grinder to a sander and sand
then
around
you mess up the base too. Yeah.
So that's my least favorite thing on that.
It's such a unique choice for bases. And I've only ever seen it in Malifaux and in War Machine. But, okay. Well, Go ahead.
I was about to say, and yours don't hang off. My people have cloaks and stuff that go beyond the base.
Oh, really?
So it doesn't make any even sense to why they're lit.
Yeah, why they either need to be on a bigger base or on lip.
It's hanging over and it doesn't fit right.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I'm filling them with
resin, so they're flat. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I think that'd be cool too. I've not seen that, so I'd like to see what that looks like. So, well, for me, my favorite thing for War Machine is probably the models, and I hate saying models really as a thing because it's such a given. Like,
Right.
I don't think any of these games we just talked about have models I don't like. But like the War Machine models, like in particular, have a very hyperbolic anatomy. It's like World of Warcraft sculpts in a minis game.
Yeah.
I really like that. And Warcrow kind of has a similar feel too.
Yes.
And I really, really like that exaggerated looking model with like a very, very exaggerated features. And I do a lot of high contrast, like scratchy, like kind of sketch work, paint jobs.
Mhm.
And that model line takes to it really, really well. So I'm a big fan of the minis. I mean, even I'm looking at this model I got over the Mastodon. That's like,
Yeah,
that's a badass model. Like, and it probably sucks. Like, but I wanted to get it because it looks cool as shit.
it does look cool as shit,
So
I will
yeah,
tell you.
it's dope. I'm a big fan of it for sure. But yeah, so I like the models a lot. I think my least favorite thing is, and I hope this changes,
Mhm.
but I don't know what to do about tournaments.
Right.
Like the game has, so there's a couple things that I maybe my least favorite thing is that I don't know enough about it yet,
Mm.
and there's not enough ways for me to find out. Like there's not enough people playing locally, which really bums me out. Like we had 2 of us there tonight for our league night. I was like, what the hell? And we had like 6 last week. And I'm like, where's everybody at? So I can't really seem to be getting more and more people playing, and I want to get more people playing. But tournaments though, I'm kind of nervous about tournaments because the old War Machine was super dickish. Like everybody was kind of an asshole.
Mhm.
Or do people even use terrain? The old War Machine, people would use 2D neoprene like buildings and stuff. And I'm like, so you had literally a 100% flat table
That's crazy.
because it was easier to measure. And I was like, okay. And so like I'm really kind of nervous about the tournament scene because there's a lack of it. And even when there's one that starts popping up, is it going to be just kind of really sweaty and grimy to the point where it doesn't even look cool?
Right.
So now I've got 2 groups that I can look at for that. And like in Oklahoma City, there's a group that plays and they seem okay. Like I know some of those guys. I like them. They seem all right. They use the 2D terrain, but they've explained it as like that's just what they have right now because they have it from the old edition. And so I'm like, okay, well, if they're not necessarily opposed, I understand just playing with what you got. But if like you're not opposed to having terrain that it looks cool, then like
Yeah.
let's start working towards that.
Yeah.
But then there's all these guys in Texas that I know that are awesome. They have a ton of fun. I'm on their Discord. They're a great group of dudes. They seem to be having a blast every time anyone plays. Nobody's an asshole. I ask guys I know personally from that group. I'm like, hey, how is everybody like? And they're like, oh, everybody's having a good time. They have like 13 to 15 pieces of terrain on every table. Like it looks cool as shit. And so I'm like, okay, there's hope.
Right.
So I don't know. I guess the only thing I do know of is right now the game is small and that's upsetting.
Right.
So I'm hoping that changes. And it's an IP it's owned by Steamforge Games now. It's an IP and a company that has the capabilities to push it hard enough.
Mm.
So I'm hoping we just we're at the beginning.
Right.
So I'm hoping we sooner than later we'll get to a point where it's like 40K level.
I'm hoping to spend this week building all my stuff. It won't be painted, but hopefully it will be built so I can play.
I think I'm the only one with a fully painted army. So
well, I won't be one for a while.
That's
but
okay.
I will get there.
Well, that's it.
That's it.
That's all of it. So before we go, we wanted to ask everybody who's listening and watching what your favorite and least favorite thing is for the game or games that you play.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us in the comments. And also, we need some more show ideas. We need some topics.
Yeah,
we got a couple in the chamber, but we need more.
Right.
So
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's very fair.
But all right, John, you got anything else you want to say?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Well, guys, keep gobbling up them adventures. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
If I can get to the